Hello, in this video I want to talk a little bit about social media and kind of the problems it causes and the problems it's caused me in the past, and the fact that I'm going on a digital diet. It seems to be quite a common thing at the moment. People are going on the social media detox, as they call it. And whilst it sounds a bit silly, it's actually quite a good idea, so I want to talk a bit about it. So over the last 6 months or so, I've kind of fallen out of love with social media a bit. I actually wrote a blog post about it here called How Being Connected Disconnects Social Media, Depression and Your Brain. I'm not going to go through the whole article here. I'll put a link to it in the show notes. But I was basically talking about how actually being connected to social media can actually make you a lot more distant, and it can make your personal relationships with people that you actually know and care about diminish a bit. And it's something that I've found over the years, and it's something I started doing something about. Primarily, I started falling out of love with Facebook. Just open up the notes a bit here. So I've never really been the sort of person that cares about what other people think. When I put stuff out online, people either like it or they don't. Generally I'm not that bothered about whether people's opinions are negative or not. But I found that when using things like Facebook, I was starting to get addicted to it, and I was actually starting to care about likes and comments. By people liking what I was posting, by people commenting. I got to the point where I had nearly 700 friends on Facebook. Past colleagues, people I'd known from school, like 30 years ago. And I was kind of getting a bit sick of the whole experience. So about October time last year, I actually started scaling back on Facebook, because that was where the main problem was for me. So I actually went from 700 odd people down to about 40, which were just actual family, people I'm related to, both on my side and my wife's side. Friends that I actually see in the real world, close friends who live nearby. And kind of that was it. And that was kind of pretty good. Facebook wise, I tended to use it a lot less because not that many people in my family actually bother posting. I was going to come off Facebook completely, but my wife didn't really want me to, because we had lots of albums and photos on there. So I was kind of on there, and that's kind of been fine. But what I've found since doing that is I actually spend a lot of my time checking Twitter instead. So I've kind of moved from Facebook to Twitter, and I'm not a massive fan of Twitter. I kind of feel like I need it because of my business and what I do, and it's a way of connecting with people that may like to read my books or watch my courses. So it's a good actual sort of promotional platform. But it's got to the point where I'm starting to check my phone over 100 times a day, according to the screen time statistics I get sent by Apple. And I thought, that's really bad. I don't like this. And I've been thinking that for a while. And recently I read a book called Digital Minimalism. And this is a book that's recommended to me by my podcast host, Kevin, who I run the Side Hustle Success podcast with. And he recommended this book that he'd started reading. So I got the audiobook version of it, and I've been listening to it on Audible. And it's kind of pretty good. And it talks about how to sort of declutter your life. There's been a lot of talk around actual physical minimalism, around reducing the number of things that you own, and getting rid of anything that doesn't bring you kind of happiness or joy. And this is kind of a similar sort of thing, but it's to do with your digital lifestyle. So what I've decided to do is sort of take some of the advice from the book and scale things back a bit, which I've been doing for the past week or so. So I decided to do a sort of social media detox. Lots of people are doing this at the minute. YouTube seems to be littered with videos on this subject, of which I'm adding another one. But there you go. So basically what I've done is I've removed all social media from my phone. So Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Slack, I class that as social media as well. So I've removed all of those from my phone and my tablet. I've then gone and disabled all notifications for absolutely everything, well, apart from a small handful of things, but I've pretty much deleted 98% of all notifications that can happen on my phone and my watch. And also I did this anyway, but even more to the point, my phone is always on silent. So when it rings, I never actually hear it, because I hate speaking on the phone. The only exceptions for that is I've got overrides on there. So if my wife calls me, the childcare or the school calls, obviously I want that to ring, because that's important. But for everything else, I just don't do phone calls. But when thinking about this, whilst I've deleted them off my phone so I can't check them when I'm out and about, I do still need to use Twitter and LinkedIn. It's a way that I use to engage with people that watch my courses. It's how I promote my courses. books. So I do still need to use it, but I don't need to be shackled to it all the time. You know, I can just use it when I'm at work, so only on my iMac or my laptop. That kind of suits me fine. One thing I am going to look at, which I haven't actually started looking at yet, but I was watching a video by Sarah Dietschy, and she was doing a video of someone else, and they was talking about this tool here called Later.com, which actually allows you to set up pretty robust schedules for sending out tweets to things like Twitter and Instagram. Kind of similar idea to Buffer, but I actually quite like what this tool's doing. So what I could actually do is on a Monday or a Sunday evening, or whenever I decide to do it, is I could set up a load of tweet schedules for during the week of things that I actually want to promote. Then they just happen automatically. And then, you know, most days in the morning or every couple of days, I might just quickly go through Twitter and, you know, retweet some things that I think are interesting. But I can actually still engage with Twitter, but not actually spend too much time on it. So I think that could be an interesting way of working. As I said, I've not actually tried this tool out yet. I've just heard it recommended by several people. So I am going to try it out, and I'll, you know, let people know how it goes. There's a free tier, so I should be able to, you know, get a good sense of whether it's any good for not paying anything, which would be ideal. So this means now then, if I'm out and about, whereas before where I'd just be, you know, constantly picking up my phone just to check Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, I now can't do that, which is good. It felt a bit strange for the first week, so, you know, I pull my phone out of my pocket and I think, I can't actually check what I want to check. So it did kind of feel a bit strange at first. I guess it's kind of like with any addiction, you kind of feel a bit jittery. But now I kind of feel okay after about a week, which is good. And what I found is if I'm out and about, so I like to go for a lot of walks, that's how I keep fit. I live in a very, you know, beautiful hilly area, so I go for a lot of walks. So when I'm doing that, I use my phone for podcasts, which is good because I love listening to podcasts or listening to audiobooks. But like the other day, we went to a theme park and we were stuck in queues for a while waiting for the rides. But instead of just looking at Twitter, I was actually sort of reading articles whilst in the queue. So there's a website I use called Blinkest.com. Let me just quickly call it up. I'm not affiliated with them, so I'm not making any money out of this. But this is a website or an app I really recommend called Blinkest. And what it does is it's a book summary service where they take kind of books like Digital Minimalism, for example, and they produce these summary articles which contain all of the key information from the book. And you can either read it or listen to it as kind of like a podcast through their app. Now, it's not a substitute for books. I still like reading books. But if you want a dose of concentrated information really quickly, this service is fantastic. And I listen to it all the time. So if I'm out and about, like the other day when we was at a theme park, I was just reading blinks. I must have read about 4 different blinks from 4 different books. So I was actually using my phone to learn instead of just to consume stuff on Twitter, which was nice. So that is mostly what I wanted to talk about. I've about a week into this, removed all social media and things like Slack from my phone and tablet. So now, if I want to use them, and I do still need to use them from time to time, then I have to do it from either my iMac or my laptop, so when I'm working, so it becomes a work-related activity. Yeah, and I think it's working out quite well for me so far. I'll try reporting back in a few weeks or so to see how this is going. I was kind of partly inspired by my podcast co-host Kevin, because he's actually quite strict with stuff like this. He doesn't have social media on his phone. He hasn't for a while. And I was always kind of a bit jealous of that. I thought, that's quite cool how you do that. And he even goes to the point where he has internet-free Sundays, where he just doesn't use the internet on a Sunday, which is quite cool. I think that's a few steps away from me yet, but getting rid of social media is certainly starting to feel good. So yeah, I shall let you know how I get on with that. Thanks a lot. If you do like this video, please hit subscribe. If you want to be notified, then hit the bell icon. I've got quite a lot of cool things I'm planning to record, so I'll see you soon. Bye.